It says live.
Welcome to Nintendo Voice, your voice for everything Nintendo. This is episode 89, recorded on the 18th of March. Oh man, this is... Why does it have to be today? It's the 18th of April, 2017. My name is Lewis Pugh, and joining me to talk Nintendo, we have Colin Crompton.
Hello there. Yes, it's me. Hi.
And this is different. Well, this may be different. It depends. I mean, it probably isn't different. So very quick background here. This is the first time we are doing video in addition to the audio. So you probably are listening to just the audio. But as a little test, we went on to YouTube and Google Hangouts, and we're doing videos as well.
And we are in the house of Google.
Yeah, this is how it's going. It's just a test. If it goes well, we may do more of these. And we may let you know in advance next time if it goes well.
Well, they know how it goes. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be different. And that's good, I think.
Yeah.
Possibly. It's going to be a disaster. I can feel it already. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I already messed up the intro, so.
Oh, it does. No one noticed, I'm sure.
Yeah. Usually, because you clean it all up, but not today. Anyway, on today's show, we don't have any what you've been playing. We do have some Nintendo news. We did recently have a Nintendo Direct, and we do have a bonus round in which we asked you last week, what's the funniest Nintendo game? So, let's start off straight with the news.
Dive in.
We're in. So we have a little bit of news to cover before we go to the Direct. And a mini bit of news. So the Nintendo, the NES Classic Mini. I'm sure that name actually is kind of country variant.
It is. It is. I've noticed it. Yeah, because isn't it just Nintendo?
I think it's just Mini in Europe, isn't it? And just NES Classic.
Possibly. Because the Classic always seemed out of place for me. You know, like why Nintendo? Is it Nintendo Mini Classic or was it Nintendo Classic Mini?
Yeah.
Yeah. Might have called it Nintendo Mini. Weird.
Yeah. Either way, though, we have some news about this. I mean, it's not just it's being around, but that's kind of part of the news. Is it's being officially discontinued, and so even though it's been very hard to get hold of, I think almost everywhere around the world, it's going to get a lot harder in the future, or a lot more expensive at least.
Are you surprised that they're discontinuing it? Because I'm not really...
I've got mixed feelings on this one. I mean, I'm surprised in the fact that, you know, there was a lot of demand still.
Yeah.
So there was money to be made, but it also seemed like Nintendo had plenty of opportunities to, you know, put out more, more product before this point. So I'm not too surprised because, I mean, it's not like the situation was ever good. There was never many to go around. So it seems like they never had like huge ambitions.
It just seems like in their mind, they're like, we're going to put this out. It's going to be a collector's item. And that's basically it.
Yeah. Or just kind of like a season line. You know, this is something we're playing after Christmas. And
It was, I think it's just to cover them for Christmas, really. I think I said that as well. It's like, it's just for the holiday period. Yeah. And they extended it a little bit. And then it's like, that's it.
Yeah, and that was part of their official messaging. They did say that they did put more product into the supply chain than they originally expected. But at this point, they are officially discontinuing it. At least the official terming for 2017. So whether they're going to start bringing them out next year, or maybe, you know, some revised models or something.
Yeah, actually, can you see them doing that? Like towards the end of each year, they bring it back out and go, hey, it's back, see? I kind of feel like
surprised, maybe like with some slight tweaking to the software which came with it due to licensing, or maybe due to like just generally having a little refresh on the thing.
Maybe they do an alternative one where it's the NES Mini, but it has a different lineup of games.
That's possibly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just want to make a Super Nintendo one.
That would be cool.
That in a heartbeat.
You know what I want, which is quite bizarre? Like a no, but you're on the right lines. It's a portable one, so like a Game Boy.
Game Boy.
Yeah, like a Game Boy Pocket with built-in laser games. with an awesome battery,
kind of cool.
backlit screen, but obviously the same graphics.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be pretty cheap to make nowadays.
Yeah, just knock out a bit of plastic for a screen.
Like the sophistication which goes into a smartphone, like making a modern version of an actual Game Boy, maybe it would be expensive in terms of emulating it somehow.
I do.
There's no actual hardware which would just
play it. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I guess maybe, ironically, they do end up making a smartphone and locking it down just to play Game Boy games.
It would be really cool if they just did like the Game Boy, and it's like it plays all the family of Game Boy games, so it goes from Game Boy to Game Boy Advance.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yes, it's like some weird hybrid system. Although they could just make it look like a Game Boy Advance at that point, because the Advance did play classic games.
Well, yeah, it did. Maybe like an SP or something. I don't know, but
come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, is that all our non-direct news?
We have one more.
We do have one more.
It's about Star Wars Battlefront 2. So the developer news. Well, the developer was asked, a developer from someone who worked there. He was asked if he was going to appear on Switch. There's any chance of appearing on the Switch, and he just went, "That one is a question for another day."
Ooh. Yes.
Which is very vague. That's the most vaguest answer.
It's also very non-committal.
Yeah, I don't think it's coming. And I just think he didn't want to say it wasn't coming, but I don't think it's coming.
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely not. I wouldn't go trying to say definitely not. I think it's very likely it's not coming, at least alongside the other versions. So, like, there's a maybe chance, like, they just, like, Nintendo's being weird and won't wait to E3 to officially announce it for the Switch.
It's possible.
Or it could just be that those deals still being worked on, they didn't have the dev kits or whatever, and that it's just going to come out early next year opposed to the end of the year. And thus it gets announced later.
I kind of feel like that's a Wii U situation again, though.
It is.
Like, the other systems already have it.
Like my infamous phrase, which became one of the episode titles. I mean, Star Wars is a pretty big franchise nowadays. It's along those lines, at least. It's something Nintendo definitely wants to get on board. So it does seem odd. Apparently EA is making like a bunch of other Star Wars games, so maybe Nintendo's happy if they just get at least one of them. There's a deal signed out for already.
I'm just happy if they get the Lego games.
I'm sure they will.
Battlefront 2. I mean, I can kind of see why it wouldn't come to the Switch. I mean, it does have a huge online focus, and the Switch's like main selling point is, you can take it anywhere. So yeah, but you might not always have an internet connection where you're going.
Yeah, well, Battlefront uses the Frostbite engine, right?
I believe so.
I assume with EA's big games nowadays. Is there anything Frostbite confirmed for the Switch? What was EA's support? They've got FIFA coming.
FIFA, is that wrong?
You would imagine it was running Frostbite because the last few games have. But they haven't officially said.
No.
So it could be some old code that they're uplifting, as it were. So maybe there's some issue around that, or maybe ironically something like FIFA is laying the groundwork for other games, but they're just not quite there yet.
Yeah, if it was come to Switch, it would be a later date, which I don't think bodes that well for it anyway. Because by that point, the people who want to play it would have already played it, and we'll be in a.
This is true.
We'll be in a Watch Dogs situation where the Wii U version came out because they didn't really care anymore.
No, the Nintendo audience can be fickle.
It can be. That's the issue.
Yeah, I don't think this is an example of that. Though. I just wanted to say it. I think we jump straight into the Nintendo Direct stuff now.
Let's just tackle the Direct.
There's at least a game in particular which is thematically quite similar to the Battlefront 2 situation, and if it was to get a later port, there's at least a game here which seems a little late to the party. There may be more. Let's find out.
It's possible.
Actually, I guess firstly, just kind of general impressions?
Um,
Was it a good direct for you?
For me, what's it good for you? I felt it was a very solid direct. It wasn't outstanding, but it was very.
Okay.
It didn't disappoint. It was very middle of the road, I think.
I think Nintendo did a good job setting expectations. So we touched on the last show. Like they said, oh yeah, we got the direct coming. It's going to cover some Switch and 3DS stuff, but it's going to focus on ARMS and the Splatoon 2.
Yep,
that's what you get.
Yeah,
but we've got quite a bit more.
We've got quite a bit more. I did love the way it was laid out. The presentation was very cool with the headlines. I want them to carry that on in the future. I love the ones that it's just like question marks. It's like, oh, we got a surprise coming. It's
green spoilers. Yeah, I definitely think this will be the format we'll see going forwards.
That's cool.
Nintendo was talking about how they wanted to change things up, and we didn't know how much. But this seems more structured. Like I could definitely see they've got this sort of framework here, and they can just slot in the announcements to it.
Yeah.
In this giant rendering machine in the background, set my live show up. These are the games how I want to order we're going in. Where it seemed everything before was like, all right, Nintendo Direct's coming. How are we going to do this time?
Exactly. Yeah, we'll just throw it out there.
But I've wasted so much time just coming up with ideas before, and now at least they've got a solid framework. Right, this is how we're going to do it. Let's get to the news.
There were some things we didn't know were coming, but you could read the headline and be like, "Oh, it's that game." Yes. Okay, that's coming to the Switch now. And he was like, "Oh, well, why didn't you hide that? Or at least, if you do an announcement, at least be like surprise." But I guess I just want it out there. Yeah.
So I've got a nice compiled list here. It's bigger than this.
You do.
Smooth down version of it. Should we just run from top to bottom and see what we want to discuss? Is that a good idea?
Sounds good.
So we start up on some Hey Pikmin. Is the name of the new Pikmin game for the 3DS. And we saw some new footage of it alongside its new name.
We did.
And what are we thinking of this one currently?
It looks interesting. I'm more intrigued about this than I have been with previous Pikmin games. Really, ooh. I just like the idea of Pikmin World being a side-scrolling platformer, puzzle platformer type. And it's. Well, I think it looked good. I think it really looked good. Especially for a 3DS game, I was like, well, it looks like it's really pushing the hardware.
Yeah, I think it's quite novel as well, seeing the use of the two screens. I feel we've not seen that since the DS itself.
DS early DS
not
days,
the 3DS. And it's got the two screens stacked on top of each other to display just a big vertical screen.
Yeah. See,
which is quite cool.
Yeah, some DS games didn't do that really well. Sonic Rush was the worst for that. But no, it's cool to see that back, and it's a good way to open the show.
Yeah, a little side note. It wasn't covered in the Direct, but they've since shown off the box arts for Hey Pikmin in different regions, and kind of like Kirby. The American version has an angry Grandma. And
why do they do this?
Throwing his Pikmin. I mean, it's obviously what he does in the game. At I can't remember one of the new enemies in this. And on the European one, I'm not sure it's the same as the Japanese one. It's like a very much jolly Olimar, and he's kind of marching along with his Pikmin behind him, and there's no sense of violence on it.
The North American one's just some parents just see it and be like, that's just like animal abuse. It's a spaceman abusing little creatures.
Yeah, it's weird how they choose things like Pikmin and Kirby and go, we need to add some aggression to this character.
We need to give him some attitude. And it's like, why?
And it never works. You put a frowny face on Kirby, he still looks like a cute pink ball.
It's a big blob. He's got frowny eyes instead of cute eyes. It's just
and the same with Captain Olimar.
That'll sell a few more copies.
Yeah, I mean, Captain Olimar on its own, fair enough. You could kind of make him look a bit mean if you really wanted to for some reason. But I mean, the box art's also got about a dozen colourful Pikmin on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't mesh well. Yeah, it's.
Oh well.
No, it's very odd.
Who are we to judge? I have no marketing
I don't
budget.
know. Exactly. We're the
Next
brains
up.
behind the operation.
As written on the page, next up, Ever Oasis. Ever
Yes.
Oasis.
Ever Oasis.
Yeah, so we've got the chance to see some more of it this game now. So this is by Grezzo, is it?
Yeah, it is aggressive. Yeah, the team behind the Legend of Zelda
3D Ocarina and Majora's Mask on the 3DS.
Yeah,
and so yeah, I think this was the first. I'm not sure it's the first time we saw the story necessarily. We at least got a bigger dive in it.
Yeah, definitely. I think last E3 they showed off a lot of the story and stuff, and
True.
They didn't really go into too many details. But yeah, I mean, it looked good. I'm still excited for it. And we got a release date, which is nice. June 23rd.
It's cool. It's good to have them finally, because it seems like it's been a game which it's been on the horizon for a little while, but we've not had any official.
They showed it last E3. I didn't realize they're gonna wait until. I didn't think it'd see another E3.
Yeah,
it might not be at the show itself, but it's gone through 2 E3s. I didn't think I was expecting that. I thought the game would come out a lot earlier, but apparently not. It must be pretty big. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Yeah.
A nice juicy adventure.
So yeah, we'll probably start picking up the pace here, because there's quite a bit of stuff actually. So for context, they focused on the 3DS stuff first. And next thing they discussed, slight difference here between the American one and the European one. But either way, it was Yokai Watch news.
Yes.
And this was quite interesting. So over in Europe, the announcement was that the 2 editions of Yokai Watch 2 had, they've only just come out. They come out a couple of weeks back or something?
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe not. I think that's the case. And so that was just kind of like a recap for us. It's just come out. You should go check it out. But on the American stream, they had a 3rd edition of Yokai Watch 2 to show off and to announce. And I didn't realize there was a 3rd edition of 2 in Japan. Apparently there was. I don't know how many editions of 3 there are.
I'm just scared to think.
Yeah. So I'm not. I think it's Physical Spectres.
Yeah.
3rd edition. And so we've got the old bony spirits and fleshy souls.
It seems Europe is a bit behind, but yeah, it's cool that we get more watch games.
I'll be honest, I've not actually seen what's new about Physical Spectres, and to be fair, I've not played either of the games. I played the demo of the first one. I think you're right. I like level 5.
I've not played it anymore.
It doesn't quite draw me in. It seems like Pokemon, but without as much depth. And I'm sure there's more to it than that. It seems like it's got a lot more charm to it in a weird way. Yeah, it's kind of bizarre to get my head around that. I'm sure I'll jump into it one day.
Someone's going to be there, yeah.
Cool. We'll keep the string rolling. More 3DS news. Concept Revolt. A game which we knew about but didn't officially know it was coming over here. So in short, this is it's a turn-based strategy card game?
It's a strategy card game that takes place on a board.
Yes, that's the irrelevant. So it's kind of like a board game, kind of like a TCG, somehow mixed together.
Yeah, it sounds intriguing. I generally want to try it out. It's very baffling. It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's going to work in practice, but again, we'll see. And it's been around for 20 years, apparently. I've never heard of it.
As in the series?
Yeah, the series. The game. They made
the first ever 3DS game before the system was envisioned. It does look cool. I think it's a game which desperately needs a demo. Because I think it could be a bit like Project Cross Zone, where that had a demo to it. And at first, I was, oh, this is a cool game. But there's always a lot of games like that, and most of them I don't pick up. But it had the demo, and it won me over. So I think a demo for this could work well for the niche, which won't necessarily pick it up, but could generally have a good time with it if they,
definitely,
kind of got the feel of the game.
Yeah.
But keeping on the RPG vibe, we've got RPG Maker Fez for 3DS.
Weird spelling.
I don't know why it's called.
I don't know why is it called Fez. I
think it should just be called RPG Maker 3DS.
It makes more sense. Okay, so quick question. Have you played any RPG Maker game?
RPG Maker game? I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe.
Because I haven't. I'm not.
You haven't?
No.
I very possibly have. I've played around also with RPG Maker. So I'm assuming I've never like committed to it and made anything decent with it. But long ago I played around with it while comparing it to other things.
There is, what's really cool with they're doing a free download of this thing called RPG Maker Player.
Yes.
Just purely for the 3DS, and you can download any of the RPGs that are made in Fez from anyone else without having to pay for the game.
I'm surprised Nintendo let them do that.
Yeah, that's like they would charge for.
Yeah, because that's competition. That is.
Not like that. Well, yeah,
if you're on an eShop and you're making a small budget game, you're competing with the time of someone who can download this free app and play RPGs. The worst genre.
The longest genre of games. Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're competing with now. And then there's supply of RPGs.
So I'm very tempted to pick that up, the RPG Maker Player thing.
I don't see why not.
No,
you might as well check it out.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's some sort of system of rating them as well. See if I can just go like, what's the top rated? Download the top, the first 5, play them for 5 minutes each, and then continue to play whichever one holds your interest the most.
That's right. Yep.
That'd be some fun.
I kind of got the feeling it won't have that feature. You just got like dig through the dirt to get to the good stuff, kind of thing.
Or it just loads up and it's like enter ID of level or whatever.
No.
Nah, I'm hoping there's some sort of basic searching and sorting. And
you would hope so, yeah. No, definitely.
It's not made by Nintendo. It's merely on their store. It could be good.
Hopefully, we'll see.
What came up next? Me-based games. Oh, we had Miitopia. Finally coming out over here. You don't look impressed. Take your Mii's on an RPG adventure.
I saw this and I was just. I completely blanked this.
They've not went later, have they? I thought the trailer was fun, but I've heard impressions of the game, and it doesn't seem like it will necessarily be for me. I think it's kind of for people who genuinely liked Tamagotchi Life. It seems similar to that. I think it's the way I see it is like it's the sequel to Tamagotchi Life. So it's got a bit more depth to it in that sense, and it's kind of. It funnels you through a story and whatnot, but it's just goofs, and I think the fun of the game is the fun of the characters and the scenarios more so than like this battle system.
If you had some like really well created Mii's, like you had like some licensed characters that you weren't meant to have, like Darth Vader in your team, that could be fun. But
yes, exactly. I think that's where the fun would be, like Tamagotchi Life. It's just being similar.
Do people really like obsess that much over Mii's anymore?
That's the problem. No,
I kind of feel like they're a gone thing now. They're not like the centre of attention anymore. But
Mii's aren't cool anymore. That was Nintendo, by the way. I'm sorry. It's not my own. But
they are just 10 years old.
It's an observation I've picked up. Mii's aren't cool. I'm sorry to let you know. There we go.
Tragic story of Mii's.
Yeah. So what else me-based stuff was there?
Was that not it?
Oh, for the 3DS, I'm thinking about something which comes later on.
Yeah.
How it was worded. There's something which is, I'm not sure it is Mies or not. Something which looks like Mies later on. Not now. We had some Fire Emblem stuff though. People know Fire Emblem. Shadows of Valentia. I like how my notes are worded here. DLC treats. Is this the official? I think it's the official Nintendo term then.
I put the treats by.
Oh, that's not the audacity. Treats. But the trailer almost kind of presented it as such, because that's what the trailer was for. It was for the DLC, basically. It was.
Yep.
It's like, oh, this will be DLC. Some will be free. Some you can buy.
I wasn't that shocked that they're like, oh, we're doing DLC for Fire Emblem. I was like, yeah, kind of done that for the past couple of games. I kind of expected it.
Yeah, I wasn't shocked by the news of it at all. Yeah. Just the fact that they would make a trailer around it. It's like, surely your time's best. I mean, I like the transparency here, but just make a cool trailer. Just show us some battles, show us some bits of the cutscenes. We know you got them.
Show some of the good stuff. Exactly.
Yeah. Don't say, oh, you could buy DLC.
It's more stuff for you to buy. Go buy it.
That's not going to entice anyone in, surely. Oh, yes, I'll get this game, then I can buy more of it.
Oh, there's DLC. Exactly, yeah.
that's the hook you use afterwards. When you go, oh, that was great. Oh, it's ended. Oh, well, I can get more.
I mean, there are people out there who will buy a game based on how much DLC it has.
Ooh.
I know people. I know people who are like, oh, that game's got a load of DLC. And it's like...
For context, are these like consumables? Are these like just like, oh, extra levels and... Sort of
it's mainly costumes. It's mainly costumes. They like dress up kind of stuff.
Oh, I see.
Don't read too much into that, folks. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, fair enough. Kirby, 25th anniversary for Kirby. He's got some games coming.
Kirby is old. I didn't realize how old he was.
He's 25. Yeah. And he's got 3 new games coming. But we're only going to talk about 2 of them. The first, Team Kirby Clash Deluxe. So this, like the second game we're going to talk about, are kind of carved off versions, but with some extra stuff added on. Yeah. From Planet Robobot, which was always fun to see.
Oh, right, okay.
So they kind of done these things before with the Triple Deluxe game, and they had like some like cool mini games to them, and then later on they sold them separately, but they were like expanded versions of those games.
Yeah.
And this is what they're doing now. So I never played Planet Robobot, despite having so much fun saying the name.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you still haven't picked it up.
I might have to pick it up this evening. I've been living a lie too long. I bought the name robotvoice.com, yet I didn't buy the product for Kirby Robobot. So yes, I let that expire recently.
Mad genius, yeah.
So someone else, I'm sure, has swooped in and picked up that opportunity. Running a very successful business now. Anyway, so yeah, we have Clash Deluxe, but we also have a Blowout Blast. And of the 2, I thought this was a more interesting one. Not really having seen like the mini games they were based on before.
Yeah.
And so Blowout Blast is kind of like a top view 3D Kirby game.
It feels like it just feels like it's like a Leap Between Worlds with Kirby.
Kind of.
Yeah. I'll play that.
Yeah, it looked quite cool. So thing I didn't mention, Clash Deluxe released shortly after the presentation for free.
Yeah. It was one of those.
I've not actually checked it out yet, so I'll check that out first before I buy Robobot.
See, I thought you were a huge Kirby fan.
I thought I was too, and this has proven me wrong.
you just found out today. No, I must not be the biggest Kirby fan.
I'm maybe one of the biggest Kirby's Dream Course fans in particular.
Is that the mini golf one?
That is the mini golf one.
I've heard so many good things about it.
The best golfing game.
See, everyone says that game's amazing. I've not played any Kirby game. I know.
So you can see my reactions now. This is brilliant. You've not played any Kirby
Not
game?
any Kirby game at all, no.
Have we discussed this before?
We have briefly discussed this, yes.
Oh, must have been so stunned I managed to
You just
lose that part of my memory. This is bizarre.
Just wiped.
Yeah. It's like off track. But we've got more Kirby to talk about, so I guess we're all gravy at this point. The third of the Kirby games, they didn't have much to say. Apart from it's going to be an action multiplayer game?
Yeah.
I think something along those lines. I definitely have the word multiplayer in there. Coming at the end of the year, it's going to be I think they committed to a physical release. I'm not sure they specified now.
So it's possible.
Yeah.
But it's... Yeah. I mean, more Kirby's was a good thing. I just kind of hope it's like a full-fledged game. And Clash Deluxe and Blowout Blast feel kind of like, here's some micro games to keep you occupied, kind of thing.
Yeah, I see that. I wouldn't mind if it was more of an anniversary type game, in the sense like whether it's a collection or whether it's just a remake of one thing in particular, or just kind of, I don't know how you would do it, but like whatever the game would be, some sort of celebration of Kirby in general.
Well, has there been
opposed to just like another type mini game?
Has there ever been a multiplayer focused Kirby game before?
It depends your definition of focus. Like, there's been Kirby games which you could play in co-op,
right?
And even up to 4 players. Like the Wii game, you could play it 4-player co-op. Was it multiplayer focused? Was New Super Mario Bros. Like multiplayer focused? I mean, it could be. It depends how you go into it. But yeah, I mean, like, was it 4 swords? No.
Yeah, because that's what I'm getting from this wording. It sounds like this is only multiplayer.
It could be. Yeah, it could be that sort of, I guess, the more modern version, the Triforce Heroes approach. You got like 3 Kirby.
A 4 swords Kirby-esque game.
Yeah.
Would be cool. That'd be really cool.
It would be cool. Different colored Kirby's. I guess maybe like... actually, no, it would work quite well, because you could have... not set, but during the levels, you could go off and get different abilities. But you need combinations of abilities to get through like puzzle-based rooms, like a Zelda dungeon.
Yeah, basically Triforce Heroes with Kirby.
Kirby's. I would actually be quite bored of that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's worth a shot. Next up,
you can't play.
One of the biggest announcements by far.
I knew you'd be happy about this.
Well, I was. Nintendo were happy to announce this. I think this was their most joyous announcement they had in the whole show. Devilish Brain Training. You laugh, but they acknowledged it's been so long, and it was like it was a drum roll moment almost. Finally, Devilish Brain Training is coming out to Europe.
So
only on the 28th of July.
Just how hard did you punch the air when this?
It was pretty marvelous, I have to admit. It did feel like slow motion punching at the time.
Amazing.
It was spectacular. But will I actually buy the thing?
Well, you love Kirby so much.
The joy's already ended. I might. Depends on the price. It has to.
The thing is, well, I mean, I
did want Nintendo to think, didn't I?
You did. Yeah. I mean, 20th of July though seems kind of odd. It seems kind of far away for a game that's been out elsewhere.
Sure, you would think it's purely a matter of just red tape. Like, we're finally out to release it. Oh, all right, let's just release it tonight. It's been on the shop. It's been done for ages. Yeah. Surely.
Yeah, that's just been waiting.
Well. That's the problem. At the time, it was a game that I genuinely did want to come out, because I thought, because it was kind of around the time when like the eShop was fairly new, I feel. So it was like, all right, having a brain training game built into the system, that would be not a bad way to play it, because you could do like the daily checks type thing without having to worry about, where's my brain training cartridge? I just got Zelda in it currently. Oh, never mind, let's play Zelda. But like, you could just go and do the 5 minutes, jump out. So that'd be cool. But it's been what, like, how long has it been? Like 4 years?
Something
It's been a long time.
It's been a real long time. Which I say I was quite surprised they could have just forgot about it and we would be like, it never came out. Oh well.
Yeah, the problem was that they kept it on the fiscal reports of upcoming releases for each year. They never dropped it.
No. I did like the trailer they showed, like Satoshi Bot, the European president. He kind of looked depressed while playing it. Do you not think he's kind of sad?
But it might have been like the kind of the grayscale effect they applied on top of it with the grainy camera.
Yeah, it was a weird trailer. They really kind of built it up, to be honest. I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And it was like, "Oh, it's brain training."
Yeah, so basically, they took the footage from the Nintendo Direct they originally talked about it years back.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some amiibos. For reference, this is an amiibo. Audio listeners must be hating that. I'm just holding up an amiibo to the camera. It's a Guardian with bendable arms.
He's very proud of it, and the arms do move. So.
They do. We tested that earlier, but none we can confirm have bendable arms. But there are new amiibos coming. So finally, we've got the final Smash Bros. Amiibos. Times
out of
two.
the blue.
Out of the blue. And
where did this come from?
6 of them. Oh, we were only expecting 3.
How so many amiibos? It's like, Smash Bros. I'm surprised that they announced the amiibos of Smash Bros. Without announcing Smash for the Switch.
Yeah,
I thought they would tie them two together and be like, here's Smash on the Switch, and here's the last lot of amiibos. Have fun, kind of thing.
Oh, definitely. No. It seems odd almost, and it really shouldn't, because I'm sure there's plenty of players out there very happy with the 3DS and the Wii U as well. Colin, you have the Wii.
Oh, I kind of thought because these amiibos are the last of the DLC characters, they were going out Smash with all the DLC in it. I'd be like, hey, see, thank you, buy the amiibo, you're off. I've still got no interest in these amiibos.
No, none of them all. Some of these
Cloud one looks pretty cool.
Cloud look cool. Bayonetta looks cool.
Yeah.
I think the Corrin looks cool, especially the female Corrin.
But it depends on functionality. That's why.
It's going to be the same. I mean, they might spill over into their own games potentially, but that's a very dubious offering at this point. I think lots of Corrin. He's got a lot of
cool if they retroactively patched Bayonetta 2 to include the Bayonetta amiibo. It's very unlikely, I know. But...
Unlikely. I'm not going to rule it out, though. It's a crazy game. Crazy things can happen to it. But maybe a Bayo 3, or I don't know. Maybe even just Bayo 2 on the Switch, sort of thing. It might be how they do it. They own that game. It would probably make sense for them to actually port it to the Switch.
E3
free or not.
There has to be an E3 announcement, I think.
Yeah. Nintendo's got to do it. It would be silly not to, in a sense. It seems strange, with slightly off track here, but with Sega releasing the original Bayonetta onto PC.
Yes.
And seemingly not making a huge thing about it, but, talking about it. And it's doing well.
And I was generally excited. I was like, there's a Bayonetta countdown. I thought Switch. I assumed Switch. I was like, it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 1 on PC, I'm like, was that worthy of a countdown? Was that really what people wanted? Apparently, because people went mad about it.
Some people, because it's a series which I think has gone to high regards, since its original run.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of people who would like to play it and hasn't yet. And so apparently it's a really decent version of it. It runs really well. You can play up to 4K. It's not very demanding either. So even though you don't have a monster PC, you can still, make it look really good and run really smoothly. And at the time, there was there was at least very poor version of it on the PS3. So that's all you played.
Yeah. That was pretty bad.
PC version will run better.
Yeah.
No matter what you're running. But yes, I think we'll see 2 on the Switch or something.
You would hope so.
The question is whether 3 comes with it or not.
That'd be a heck of an announcement.
Yeah.
That'd be
so getting slightly off track, but these amiibos themselves. So we obviously had the 3 we expected because we knew they were coming. We just didn't know when. That was it.
Yeah.
But we found out, one, we've got the date, which is July 21st. But also the alternative versions.
Do you think that E3, they announced Smash for July 21st?
No.
To co-align with
Unfortunately not. Like that would be an amazing announcement. I don't think they could pull that off. That's so close.
The game's done. Smash
but
is
still,
done.
E3's in June. If you announce a big game like that for the end of the month afterwards, without anyone knowing beforehand,
weirder things have happened.
True. I'm not going to rule it out. Don't get me wrong. If they did pull that off, that would be pretty good. But it would also make me question. I got the counter argument here. This is why it's not happening.
Oh, okay.
Is the branding of these amiibos.
Okay.
Wii U, 3DS. I think if they were all coming together, they would have waited to announce the Switch game and the amiibos at the same time, and they will come with a new packaging.
That's a very fair point. No,
but then again, it might be something silly like, oh yeah, they do. We know they work with the Switch version. It doesn't mention Switch on there just because they wanted to make it look like the rest of the series. They know these are collector's items.
Yeah, okay.
And they didn't want these last 3 sticking out like a sore thumb.
No, that's be cool.
I provided good points for both sides.
But you know,
well done, guys.
Basically, you just countered your own counter argument.
Yep. All right, let's move on. On to something a bit different. Amiibos. So we have new amiibos coming of the Legend of Zelda. So we've got 3 new figures: 1 for Skyward Sword, 1 for Majora's Mask, and the other 4 Twilight Princess. Yes. So a link for each version of the game.
Doubt it.
And they'll be coming June 23rd.
Yes. Not still quite a way off, but a few months. Now then, so I'm guessing if you get the Majora's Mask amiibo, that is how you get
turn into a Goron.
That wasn't where I was going, but possibly.
No. But you should, because he's holding him. He's holding the Goron mask.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, because surely why not have the fierce deity? I don't know. Anyway,
I reckon yes. Carry on. I reckon you're right.
Yeah, that's got to be the way to get the fierce deity outfit.
So,
I don't see it. That's the closest it gets to it. So
yeah, I reckon that's going to be it. So I assume the other 2. Is it not a Twilight? I thought there was a Twilight Princess amiibo out there, or is it just a Wolf Link?
There's the Wolf Link. You see, the Smash Link gets you the Twilight Princess outfit. Breath of the Wild. So I wonder if like it's the Zoran outfit. Maybe you get. I don't know.
I'm sure they're. Well, to be fair, I don't think they all. Well, at least all the Zelda series don't give you outfits as such. Maybe it won't. Maybe it would just be for items and such. Just for the, the sake of the figure, as it were. I think the Skyward Sword one looks pretty cool.
It does.
I'm not necessarily for in game. I just meant like as the 3 go. I think he looks quite cool as an amiibo.
He probably looks the best out of the 3, to be honest. I think they could have done more than Majora's Mask one, because the Goron Mask is like, why the significance around the Goron Mask? But
yeah, I think it's because he holds it in some of the original promotional material.
He does,
and that's what it's recapturing. But yeah, I agree. But it probably like we think about amiibos, like I think differently to how Nintendo does. Like, I feel they see them at 2 different things. Like, oh, it's a toy, but it can also do things.
Yeah.
I don't think they necessarily even want to make it so 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, it represents the character and what you can do.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Definitely.
We shall see. Maybe you do turn into a Goron. If you did, would it make you buy that amiibo? That'd be a pretty special power.
And
you could go and roll around the big open worlds.
Yes, solid.
There we go.
I'll have 3.
That would be pretty awesome. Although another idea for you, Nintendo, sell the Guardians, not the Guardians, sell the champions, and let you then play as that champion. Because they're all different races as well. So you can play as a Zora, play as a Goron, play as a Birdman. Birdman. They are also Rutos. And the Gerudos.
Yes.
What are the Gerudos' power?
The ability to walk into the town without needing to dress up. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, that would be cool. And everyone, well, not everyone, a lot of people go out and buy them because of the added ability that they would unlock in the game.
Yeah.
What you gotta do. Or not. Or just keep releasing amiibos and people buy them. I guess that works.
That works. Seems to be working so far for the last how many years? So
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that covers the 3DS portion. We've still got a lot to go.
We still got another.
Well, it's less, I guess, because it's the Switch bit now, and there's not as many games.
No.
But some of the games they spent a lot longer on.
They did, but we can
Yeah, it doesn't mean we have to. We might. Yeah. First up was ARMS. So this was our first. I got a first proper look of ARMS since the original announcement for it in the Nintendo presentation earlier this year. So, not going to break down the details, but Colin, what are kind of your thoughts after watching this of ARMS?
I think it's kind of sold me on it, to be honest. It looked a lot better than the initial trailer. It's just like a basic. Each person picks a character. It's like rock and sock and boxing or something. I don't know. It's kind of basic. But no, like there's actually like depth to the customization and things. Like that's really cool. And the variety of characters have their own particular strategies as well. Yeah, I was quite surprised actually. This it really is gearing up to be like the next Splatoon. At least that's
the way I see it too. I don't think we're the only people saying it either. But I think a big reason for it is kind of how Splatoon felt at the time. Not just that it was new and hate to say the word, but fresh. I know that word. But it also felt like it could like only be done on the Wii U, or at least it was like home on the Wii U, because it felt good on that, on the game pads. You could touch where you wanted to go. You had, the nice motion aiming. It felt at home on the Wii U.
It did.
As well as being new. And I think ARMS feels the same way because, yes, you can play it with traditional controls. Like you could turn motion controls off in Splatoon. But it's built around the Joy-Cons. But it is also a new IP. And it's a new, new side of Nintendo. It's going to have some online stuff as well. But it's also very core to what the Switch is. Yeah. And I think the combination of the two hopefully would do it well. I mean, it depends how good the game is, but
is the game? See, I'm not sure they announced or not. Is the game fully motion controlled? Is it not?
Well, what they've said, they have gone on the records to say that you can play it with a Pro controller.
Cool. Just flaying it around.
But yeah, they've not given any details of how that would work.
Yeah,
because I'm not sure how that would work. Because it does seem to, having played it, and like you can tell from the videos. I can use the video here. Like the way they have the really bendy arms and such. Like that's quite integral to how you move it. So you like motion.
Yeah,
and like you can see that punch, gently kind of drift off in that direction as it's kind of hurtling towards the opponent.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure how you necessarily mimic that with like the triggers or the analog sticks. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a matter of just like holding like L and R down.
I don't think it'll be
releasing one fist to the other, because in theory you can do like crossed way or way.
Like behind you.
I think you can go up and down as well. So, But yeah, I think kind of like Splatoon and kind of oddly, a bit like Mario Kart and such. It's very fast and very smooth, and it's competitive as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like what I saw here. I like the new character they officially announced.
They announced, yes. Yes.
Min Min looks fun.
Mm,
and I like seeing more like how this kind of design language works for this game, because it's kind of hard to get your head around kind of exactly what they're going for here in terms of the different characters, how they look and feel. But kind of when Min Min was announced, I was like, oh, okay, I think I finally get it now.
Yeah.
In the sense that they are their own like wacky takes on different weather stereotypes or whatever.
You've got the big mummy guy. You've got the rather traditional hero character who's just like the guy with freaky hair.
Yeah. Oh, you've got Ninjaro, the ninja.
Yeah.
As well.
I was like, yeah, that's cool.
It's all right. Oh, you got your mech as well.
You do?
I can't remember her name, but yeah, the little girl in a giant mech.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult Japanese. And the cheerleader.
Also, what wasn't officially in, well, it kind of was in the direct, but it wasn't talked about.
Yes.
Apparently, there were even more characters in terms of these little player icons.
Some internet sleuth has found out that there are some extra characters hidden away,
which is cool. Because that was one of my biggest concern. Was, hey, this looks fun. I like how the game plays and so on, but with just the 5 characters and these, how you start doing like that.
Yeah.
Maths in your head, is the value of the game, is it worth it? And this would take them to like at least 10 characters here, and I think that hits the threshold where it's like, for a fighting game, with a unique style like this, I think that gets you in the door.
No,
it does for me at least.
No,
there were some other weird announcements around this. So first up, yellow Joy-Con. I'm not sure it's luminous yellow or neon yellow, even, but they are yellow.
It looked disgusting. I didn't like it.
I'm hoping they look better in person, because I do like yellow.
Yeah.
Like it's a color which is very rarely used in a bold way.
It's a fantastic color. They look.
Yeah, I'll be honest, they didn't look great. I'm kind of hoping. I'm hoping they look better in person, because, to be fair, the blue and the reds look better in person. Well, they don't look terrible normally, but they look different in real life. So I'm hoping the yellow, because I like the idea of the yellow. We shall see. The other thing, which they've definitely not sold me on yet.
Oh, here we go.
The chargeable battery extender for your Joy-Con, where you can put 2 AA batteries in each and get even more battery life out of them.
Good concept. I like the concept.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Why
do you like the concept?
It kind of depends on how it makes Joy-Con feel as a controller. Because I'm worried that the standard Joy-Con I won't be able to use, because it's too small for me. I have like giant hands. So it'd be nice if it was like bulky. It makes it more. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't compare hand sizes, but yeah, it looks tiny. So it's a Joy-Con. Yeah.
Joy-Con. I'm ruining the pacing of the show here.
But yeah, it's
if it would extend and give you a bit more grip, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would sell me on it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's a better sell itself than like I've got no battery concerns with the Joy-Con. I mean, apparently these things last 20 hours. I've nowhere near tested it. But I mean, the Switch itself only lasts the 3 to 6. And it's always near its 3. And like these things charge, the Joy-Cons charge even like obviously when they're in the Switch itself. And so like
it's not really necessary.
How long is your PlayStation going to be for you to require it? That's what I don't understand. Like, the convenience factor about it is that say you do forget to plug it up to your Switch a few times, and then you do want to play ARMS. And then you go, oh no, the batteries, they are completely off.
Yeah. But how often is that situation going to happen?
It's not. But I mean, at that point, you're like, oh, I can't play arms now. I got to wait for my controllers to charge. Even if I've gone out and bought a charging grip, I don't want to play arms like that. Like I could put them in the charge, but I can't play like that.
But you can use the.
But I mean, there's no other way to charge them. Like you put them in the Switch itself. But the same. But if you for some reason genuinely want to play it like this with the motion controls, like what they've announced here is the only way to go. Oh, okay, I've got dead Joy-Cons. All right, snap these in. Snap some AA batteries in. All right, they're good to go. So it's a niche, and I think they know it's a niche. But I think they've got enough like market research to make it worth their while.
You would hope so, but I just I don't know. It kind of feels like they're just throwing things into the void and seeing what people want.
Yeah, you would think they would come out with an official charging solution for the Switch itself before they came out with one for the Joy-Cons.
No, exactly, yeah. Imagine that. Recharge your Switch with batteries. How cool would that be? I'll take that.
Ooh, I didn't think of that. That's how Nintendo would do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the last thing they would probably want to do is sell you like a lithium battery in a box.
Yeah.
But I don't know why.
They have done that with the gamepads.
True. Did they ever sell that in stores?
I never saw it in a store because I had to get mine from online. But
we could be on the same. We got some more internet sleuthing to do. But for now, we could be on the site digging, Colin. But for now, we've got more Nintendo Direct stuff to talk about. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I'm not sure what was new here actually. I think it was just
I think it was just showing it off more.
Refreshing our memory of what there was.
So like, hey, this comes out soon, so buy it.
Yeah, basically. So obviously you've got the double weapons, you've got the new battle mode, you've got the DLC from the previous game.
Yep.
Mario
Kart 8. Yeah.
One little thing I did find out since was on the new footage they showed. They show like the online lobbies and such. What you can do now is change out your character and your car and your customizations while you're waiting in a lobby.
That's cool. That's cool. That's a good addition.
If you're going to go out and make a deluxe edition, this is the sort of thing you add.
The little tweaks make all the difference. No, that's a cool idea.
That's a good tweak.
Yeah, I'm glad they actually seem to have taken the time and effort with. I'm actually genuinely excited to pick it up again. I've already played Mario Kart. I have Mario Kart.
I still feel if they had only added 2 extra cups.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
The goodwill would be so different. Like everyone would just be like, "Oh, Mario Kart!" Well, can't wait.
But what if they announce deluxe DLC?
Oh,
how exactly? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Remote. That's how they're going to do it.
Probably.
Why wouldn't you? After the last time.
It makes perfect sense. But I guess they'll wait and see how it sells or something. But
yeah. We shall see. Got my eyes on you, Nintendo. You pulled too many of these. Next up, though, somebody would never pull the same trick more than 3 times.
No.
Ultra Street Fighter 2. Again, this was just like a refresh. I don't think anything new was actually announced here.
They showed off the Way of the Hardo mode. Was that shown before?
True. It's out there. I guess Nintendo is not officially, shown it off.
Yeah.
Capcom have themselves. But yeah, so in recap, we got Evil Ryu, Violent Ken. Realizing he isn't a fighting game.
Yeah. I have to be violent.
Exactly. We have a mode which seems quite cool, where you can have 2 human players against a CPU. Tag team up.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Honestly, it just sounds like the human team is going to be overpowered a little. I'm sure they'll beef up the computer.
I'm sure they will, but I'm sure that's the fun of that mode.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So yeah, that with the Hadou. So that's the.
I've never heard anyone say like that before.
No, nor had I. I don't know why I said it like that There's that mode, and there's also some sort of color palette changing mode.
There is. That does
seems a bit reminiscent of. I don't know if it was in many fighting games, but I do remember in Capcom versus SNK 2 on the GameCube. Had a similar feature.
Yeah, you're right. No, you are right. Yeah, I remember that. The way the Hadu mode, it does that just kind of seems like a gimmicky tacked on thing to me.
Yeah. And it's one of those things. It might have just been because it was in development still, but from people actually playing it, apparently it doesn't respond that well. It feels like an early Wii game in terms of its motion and it's responding. On the screen.
That was the worry I had, yeah, because it just feels like just throw it in there just to make the game more.
I feel as well, if that had turned out better, that it would be featured a lot more. Because on the face of it, that seems really cool, and especially when your game's called Ultra Street Fighter 2, if that mode is cool, you show that off because people know what Street Fighter 2 is.
Oh yeah,
like you can show a little bit of that. I know what that is. Where's she got? And this mode like it seems to have some sort of leveling up and whatnot. But if that was all really well done, it was balanced. It had decent, genuine challenge in terms of different enemies you'd fight. Go out, tell people that, and I've got my doubts on that mode.
That would have been the main selling point, I think. If it was more developed, it'd be like, look, we've got this. Oh, and it comes with Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So
next up, obviously sticking to Switch still. We got Minecraft for the Switch.
Oh, Minecraft, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we knew this was coming because this was in, again, one of the other things in the early Switch presentation.
It was, yes.
So we have a date for it now, which is May 11th.
It's very soon.
Yeah.
And it's good. I'm glad they should get this game out as early as possible because this attracts a younger audience.
And this is pretty early. Like, I don't think it needed to be launch.
Oh, no, but it need to be early-ish.
And so this comes with the Mario mashup pack, which so did the Wii U version, or at least I think it came with it, or maybe it came afterwards. It was definitely on it. Actually, I think it did come afterwards, because like the Wii U version, this is coming out digital only first, or digital first, and the physical version is coming later. Yeah. So I think that's what happened on the Wii U. They had a digital version, which was just Minecraft. And then when the physical version rolled around, it had the Mario mashup pack, and it came out digital then, or maybe a little bit before then, if you had already purchased the game. But yeah, this is cool. Yeah. Oddly,
it's interesting that it's launching on the eShop first.
Yeah,
and it's going to be in stores. They haven't announced the physical release yet, but it's going to get one.
Yeah, again, I don't know why they do it. Actually, it could just be a kind of a slight reveal behind the curtain of how long it takes to go through the official process of getting physical media out there. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Oddly, weird saying it like this, but Microsoft, obviously owners of Minecraft, they want this out on Switch ASAP because they just want out on everything ASAP. So yeah, they're going to have it digital first, and when they're ready to get rolling on the physical side, that's when they'll do it.
Yep.
They won't delay the digital one for it.
No, but they want to make. They just want to make Minecraft make as much money as possible.
Yeah,
as quickly as possible.
So yeah, my suspicion is when the physical version comes around, there will be another mashup pack. It may not be called a mashup pack, but it will be one of those. But it'll be based all around Zelda. And that's what will be featured on the box art. Will be like a Minecraft Zelda-y world, and obviously that stuff will be available for the download.
But do you think that'll still appeal to the young audience of Minecraft gathers?
I think it will be perfect for the Switch audience, Minecraft fan or not, because like. The attach rate of Zelda is over 1 to 1 currently, apparently.
1 to 1, yes. Yeah, some crazy number.
There are more Zelda Switch cartridges out there than there are Switches.
Well, I do know someone who's brought Zelda, but does not own a Switch.
Well, there we go.
So it's crazy. It's like, why? He goes, well, just when it comes down price, I'll buy it. It's like,
I did like that press release because even Nintendo was baffled by and having to explain themselves. Like, there's probably people who bought the deluxe edition but wanted to keep it wrapped up, so they bought a second edition to play.
Maybe.
Like,
yeah.
This
it's a very weird situation. I think it's like the only launch game that's ever had over 1-to-1 attach rate, surely.
Well, yeah, or even close to 1-to-1.
Exactly.
Actually, I bet Mario 64 was pretty close. I bet there weren't many people who came home with just pilot wings.
Exactly, I was going to say.
Goes, I made the right choice here. Going with pilot wings. Pilot wings is bad, but I mean, second to 64.
Yeah, it's not Mario 64. Yeah.
Especially on launch day. Like, imagine this is on midnight launch, queuing up, just coming over pilot wings. Anyway, next up, Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania. So this was just a small update for both, really.
Yeah.
These are games we kind of know of, well, various amounts about. And we got a little bit more here. Like, we had literally a few seconds more footage of Forces.
We did, and the footage of Forces just disappointed me to no end. It just looks like another generic Sonic game.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, please do something exciting with Sonic again, and it just looks...
Well, what about that third mysterious figure?
I couldn't care.
You couldn't care. Well, we know it's not Boom Sonic. Does that help things?
No. Because the gameplay just looks... It just looks very generic Sonic again. I'm like,
Yeah. So they did show off, for the first time apparently, the 2D bits of Forces in this.
Which did look good. I admit the 2D sections did look good.
Looked very much like Generations, which was good.
Plus. That's a positive.
Which plus. So far, this is like Generations. I'm just very cautious, or I guess concerned, I guess is the correct word, is how they're going to treat like the third part. Like, I still feel quite conflicted, like why there's a need to have like 3 modes. Especially like, at least with Generations, there was like a duality.
What if
modern and classic? But now I feel it's going to be modern, classic, and other thing. And like, I don't think there's going to be.
What if the third option was Sonic Spinball, and it's just all Sonic Spinball levels?
That I could get behind, in a weird way.
No.
But I feel this is just going to be like, who was the new Sonic character in Sonic 06? Silver. I reckon it's going to be the equivalent of Silver here. They're going to have this new character with some crazy ability.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have, classic Sonic, the kind of the good things about modern Sonic, and this new weirdo no one knows.
Yeah.
Joining forces, finally! Yeah, it's a weird hiccup. I think overall what we've seen looks alright, because it's the template of Generations, but we shall see.
Yeah.
Mania, however, that's looking pretty cool.
That's an awesome looking game. No, definitely. It's just basically like the best of Sonic, but it looks like it's done really well. No, it looks cool. I genuinely can't wait to play that.
I am surprised. I think this, if they knew how much attention this game was getting originally, but just the fact that it isn't getting a physical release.
Yeah,
it's digital only Mania.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of people are treating this like the true Sonic game of the two.
Because it's even more faithful to Sonic than Forces.
Exactly.
By the way, Sonic Forces, still a terrible title. It sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon show.
I think it's going to have much bigger problems than the title.
Well, yeah, probably, but
we shall see. It could be great.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up, this was the me game I was thinking of. Project Mercure.
Mercure. What a name! That's a great name.
Yeah.
Working title.
It is a working title.
Which has become a more recent thing. They always like, we haven't really got a name for this game yet. It's like, why not think of a name before showing it? Why, weird. Very strange.
Was this one made by Nintendo?
I am
For some reason,
sure.
I thought this was third party. I'm not seeing any mentioning of that here. Anyway, the game itself, though, to me, it looked like, visually at least, like Bomberman with Mies. But instead of putting down bombs, they butt stomped the tiles they walked across, changing into their own colours and the ones around them. And the idea was kind of like a Splatoon turf war, was to paint the floor in your own colour.
Honestly, it reminded me of a mini game out of a Mario Party.
Yes, I see
but
that.
Expanded into a full game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends what they do with it. Like,
it's fun.
If it's a very cheap game,
it
could be good.
Well, it's exclusive in the eShop, so I'm guessing it will be.
True, but I mean, you see what the scale there. Like, it could be like very cheap, or it could just be like, yeah, mine might be alright.
No, I can honestly see this being like the lower end, like lower end tile. Yeah, but it looks fun.
I think it's got potential. It's like a very simplistic game, but I think kind of like it's a weird one really, because I think this is what people kind of wanted from Bomberman. Like, oh no, we don't want this a full game. Give us the core experience. Give me the essence of Bomberman and make me pay $10 for it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't want story mode.
But Konami thinks you do.
I don't want in-game currency. Get away. Give me some good Bomberman stages. Local multiplayer. I guess online. That's it. Anyway, I think this could work in that way. Like, if it's priced right, if it is got that, I mean, that's what's going to come down to that core gameplay, core competitive gameplay. If it works, not if it's balanced. If it is, it could be a surprisingly stable in like the multiplayer, like roulette of games.
Yeah. Which the Switch has a very strong lineup of currently, so it's
it's getting there.
It's good.
No one to add. Next up, I may need a bit of help on this one. We've got Fate Extelia.
Yes.
The Umbral Star?
The Umbral Star, yeah.
There we go. Need help in just saying the name. So this is... It looks like a Dynasty Warriors game.
Yes, that's the impression I got at least. It feels very much like one of those Dynasty Warriors.
Is it affiliated at all?
No, I don't think it is.
Okay.
I honestly don't know. I'm not even sure who's making it. But I've got no. I know it seems to be like a long-running series, but I've got no history.
Yeah. It presents itself like a long-running thing, at least.
It kind of does. It kind of feels like it's like you know what this is, so we're going to quickly explain nothing, and here you go. Yeah, I have no idea, but it did look really cool.
Yeah, apparently it comes bundled with a bunch of paid DLC from previous version of the game. So, mention outfits. There we go. That's a seller for some.
It is.
Comes in the box, and that's coming on July 25th.
It is, and it's cool.
Again.
It feels like this Direct so far is just currently getting games like out the way that they don't want to show at E3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this game wouldn't be at E3. So like, we'll just show it here quickly and move on.
And I think this is also a good contender for games which desperately need demos. Especially over here.
So many so far. Yeah. Honestly, that Project Makuru could benefit from a decent demo, actually.
I think that's going to be tricky on like it would, but I don't know how you'd slice it up. Because in theory, you would only be playing it for small bursts anyway.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But I don't know. Yes, it would, but yeah. How's it? So next on the Anime Game Fun Time show, Disgaea 5 Complete. So yeah, we definitely know about this one. Coming out May 23rd. Anything new? Oh, there's going to be a limited edition as well.
There is. There's also going to be a free demo.
A free demo. There we go. Someone's listening. Apparently it's me. Folks were here before the show began. But yeah, of the Japanese fun time game, whatever the show's called, I'm actually quite looking forward to Disgaea 5. Because
have you played any of the previous games?
No.
Oh, okay.
Should I?
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same.
Okay.
They're very similar to each other.
How's the story? Is the story reliant on the previous entry? Is it ongoing?
No, generally each game. I mean, there's a few references here and there, but mostly it's a whole new cast.
All right.
But yeah, the game leads heavily on very heavily on Japanese humor.
That works for me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it works for you.
Yeah, that's for this. There we go. Special for the video. There we go. No anime person. Little treat.
No, he's just showing off.
So yeah, it looks cool, and I think it'd be a great game as well for playing both on the go and on the TV.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Have a good balance there. Next up, Puyo Tetris.
Yes.
Which I think with the announcement come with this, we now have a demo for this game. Talking about demos.
We do. Yeah.
So this is coming April 25th. Again, nothing really new here about what we knew about it.
Yep. So next week.
Yes. And the demo is good. The demo is actually solid in the sense that you can play multiplayer, you can play single player. There's a few modes you can play. Like the only way they limit how you play is they just chuck you back to the menu or the title screen even after a round is finished.
So you can't have a continuous game in a sense.
You can keep back and jumping into little games of multiplayer though.
But it's just a pain to set it up each time. You're like, okay,
true. Yeah, no, I'm not advising this as a way to not buy the game.
Skip on buying the game.
You can get a decent amount of time out of it. Because normally those things, like I was saying about Project Mikuru and how you would slice it up, usually they struggle when they just only give you a tiny little section, and it's just going to be single player. But no, you can test out multiplayer on this, and it's cool. I'll probably pick up the full thing soon, so I'll talk about it another time.
Cool.
But it is good.
Watch this space, folks. Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, Game of Things is coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
So by Ubisoft, naturally. Has HD Rumble? Oh, there's dice in here.
Of all the games to support it.
Exactly. I think this is the first mentioning of HD Rumble in the entire Direct.
That is. Yeah.
How bizarre. I own a version of this game which looks very similar on the Xbox One.
Okay.
I'll say that.
I was going to ask that. Who buys a digital version of a board game?
No idea. No, that seems strange.
Yeah. But I mean, I did like the setup where you put the Switch down like a board.
Yes.
And you sort of sat around it. Very cool idea. I don't think the Switch itself is very big enough though to carry that off.
I mean, I'm kind of thinking back on myself now. I've actually bought quite a few digital versions of Monopoly. However, I do remember, and I'm sure much more. I like Monopoly. I've got friends in Monopoly.
That's fair enough. But you buy the board game once. True.
Well,
and it lasts you.
I've got more than one physical version of Monopoly in this cupboard over here. I'm sure if this is a thing, I'm sure I can bring them out one day. I've got at least a version of Pokemon Monopoly, maybe more, and I've definitely got a Zelda version. And I've got a not really, but kind of fancy, just kind of Monopoly built into this wooden thing, which is cool. But I end up playing it on the Xbox somehow. Anyway, my point was being, the iPad had a cool version of Monopoly because it was, you'd get, people around each side, and you just look down at it, and it would look like a cool version of the actual game. And I was wondering if the Switch version would actually do that, actually change the perspective, because I'm not sure they showed it. Because I think it's like the normal console version where you've got it's like a top-down, I say as 45 degrees down view of the board, the 3D board. Whether it would actually go fully top-down if you have a tabletop mode.
The thing that kind of worries me about Monopoly for Switch, from the trailer that they showed, it seems like that's not the issue. The issue might be like the animation seems like they take a little while to play through, and I feel like at least with a physical board, it's like I move through spaces. There you go. Yeah, I'll buy that. Yeah.
So it does seem to be heavily based on that Xbox version. Well, I'm sure there's a PS4 version.
How many different? How different could it be? It's Monopoly.
Exactly, but I mean, like, especially when you've got like a 3D board and such, and like, well, to be fair, you can tell like because there's still like a lot of menus and such, and like you can do it. You trust me, you can do a bad version of Digital Monopoly.
Yeah,
like which is just a pain to use, and so that just ruins the game. But yeah, it's got decent foundations, which is like, so if you like Monopoly, it might be worth checking out. But it's probably one of those ones you can make that judgment call yourself without even playing it, whether you want a version of Monopoly on your Switch.
It kind of depends on if you're a huge fan of Monopoly, here's another version. I mean,
But yeah, I feel like as this version's touting HD Rumble, the Xbox version was doing the same for Kinect because that used that.
Really? Oh, I could not imagine.
At random times, like halfway through the match, you were like, "Let's take a picture of everybody." No, go away.
Why?
We're playing Monopoly. It's obviously far too late in the evening.
That's the most random use of. I thought Kinect would be like you wave your hand or roll a dice or something. You know,
apparently it also has some sort of set smart glass integration, which I can never get working. If anyone has, let me know. Anyway, something obviously not as old as Monopoly. Rayman Legends, definitive edition.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has some new stuff. It's got an expanded comfort mode. That may be it. That's the only thing
that seems to be it. I as someone who's yet to play Rayman Legends, and I've heard it's amazing.
Ooh, it is a good game.
See, this seems like for me, this is the perfect version to get because it comes.
It is a very good
extra stuff.
Platform game. Oh, well, it's a good multiplayer game too, but like just the hand art style. But the things they also do with music in those music stages. And
the music stages, I heard the music stages are the most fun. Yeah, I should really get. I'm pretty sure the Wii version must be dirt cheap by now.
Probably, but if you can hold off, and I imagine this version must come out at some discount. It might not.
Yeah. They can't charge full price for Rayman Legends. Look, I know it's a new version, but a new edition, but it's
Lego City Undercover.
Good point.
We're just going to wait now for Ubisoft to say, sorry, but the definitive edition has been delayed to...
Oh,
don't.
That could happen. That could happen.
Currently, it's exclusive.
Yeah, which is... Maybe this is their way of making up for the fact that the other version was meant to be and it wasn't.
Yeah. Actually, I guess it would make sense because the other consoles do have a version of Legends. And if all they're adding is extra comfort, probably doesn't warrant extra release.
Honestly, it's not the biggest edition, probably.
No, apparently you can have fun with it. I didn't really touch it much.
Okay.
So next up, I think this show's running quite long, isn't it?
It's a little bit, but it's fine.
Is it direct? We don't have these very often.
We don't have it, but it's special.
It's special. Like, there's some special games to talk about. Nick.
Yes.
What do we have? We've got Battle Chasers Night War. Another RPG.
This looked cool. I love the art style. The art style of this game really kind of sold me on it. I was like, this looks... It's kind of 2D, but it's using like 3D character models. And the designs, I was like, this is really cool looking. They didn't show too much of it, but I'm very intrigued. It kind of reminded me of the Square project Octopath Traveler.
Okay.
But it feels like that's like hand drawn art style.
Yeah.
This is like if you want a more graphical version, I guess. But yeah, it looked really cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. Again, would like to see more, but the initial impressions are good. Gives us good vibes.
Yeah.
We had some other games. We had, what was it, Sinmora EX?
Yeah, Cinemora EX. Yeah.
That's the grasshopper game.
Yep.
So this is a shooter game in terms of the old school arcade sense.
It's kind of like Bullet Helly kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one, I'm not sure. I didn't necessarily get good vibes off this one.
No,
More
you
mixed
think about the
vibes.
plans?
Possibly, especially when you see
like the vibes.
No, like especially when you lead with grasshopper, that's got such a weight to it. Like you got such lofty expectations of the sort of style that you would expect. And then it's like,
do grasshopper have
that reputation?
Do grasshopper have that reputation? I kind of feel like whenever it's a
am I just mixing grasshopper with Suda? Is that the problem?
Well, Suda basically is grasshopper, but
well, there we go. Well, Suda's pretty extreme.
But I kind of feel like whenever I hear grasshopper, I think crazy, weird, Japanese.
Exactly. Yeah, it isn't.
And occasionally good.
This isn't crazy. It's not that weird. Yeah. It's Japanese, sure. It's not even that Japanese.
No, you're right. No, that's a good point.
Fair enough. Apparently there are some weird aspects to it, but in terms of like the raw gameplay, it does feel a bit samey.
It's a shoot 'em up. I mean, there's only so much variation you can get out of shoot 'em up.
Talking about shoot 'em ups. Next on the list.
Interesting. Yes.
Payday 2.
What a weird.
Brought out the big guns.
What a weird game to bring to Switch. I can see why. I can kind of get why, but it's a very oldish game now.
It is, but I guess it is still being like actively supported, so that helps.
It is.
You know, the more I think about this, the more it kind of makes sense in a weird way. I think some of the Nintendo audience could kind of latch on to a game like Payday 2. Like,
it's not.
It doesn't have that much competition for one.
True. There's very.
I mean, that makes it sound a bit underhanded in the sense like, oh, it's going to do well because there's nothing better. But people have people like Payday 2, or maybe the preface is most used to. I don't personally know people actively play it, but apparently they are there. Apparently there is an active community there. But I think just like the basic, it's not your traditional shooter. It's it's a heist game.
Yeah,
you're robbing banks essentially, and
it's
so
more cooperative experience. Yeah,
I think it could go down okay. To be honest, I think there's enough of the mature Nintendo audience out there who, because they are so focused on Nintendo, haven't necessarily played games like Payday 2. Because they were so busy playing Pikmin or something. I don't know.
But yeah, no, I can see that. I kind of feel like there's maybe not enough of an audience for this kind of game on Nintendo.
How much do you need? How much do you need?
Quite a few.
Fair enough. Yeah, but I guess maybe that's part of this. Like, maybe it's fairly easy to support this alongside the existing versions.
That's what I'm thinking. It's an easy port. We'll do it. Why not?
And that's kind of good just for the Switch
in general.
As a thing. So we could just see not necessarily older or just older things, but we'd see newer things come across just because it just makes sense to do it.
Yeah. If it doesn't take much resources out of the company, absolutely. So
cool. Next up, Namco Museum.
Yes.
I'm sure there's some version of this on most consoles.
I was going to say this isn't really original or anything.
No, but you got your Pac-Mans, your Gallagher's, Splathouse, Rolling Thunder,
all that good stuff.
All that sort of stuff. Things you would expect. That's coming to the Switch this summer.
Yeah, it's weirdly retro, non-retro style Switch. You know what I mean? It's very. It has a lot of old
For a system which doesn't have a virtual console, there are a lot of retro games to play.
Exactly, yeah. It's like when the virtual console drops on it, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like, will the virtual console be the virtual console? Like, will it just be Nintendo releasing some of their old games every now and again? Without any branding to them?
It's possible. I mean, who knows?
But yeah, I'm not sure this, like, their decision of virtual console affects companies like Namco or the people making the Neo Geo collections.
Mm-hmm.
But if they were aware and this is how they're responding to it, then that might suggest stuff. But it's hard to say. There were collections of retro games around the Wii launch, and that had a very healthy virtual console, especially around that sort of time.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Small bullet point here. The Nintendo Switch standalone dock is available May 19th.
Woo! Exciting times.
I think that was just an American announcement.
I believe so. Yeah, I don't think.
I say just. That's probably most of the ones.
Surely they would do that for every region. Well, I don't see why not.
I thought they were already selling them in Europe. I'm sure you could have. I'm sure you could pre-order them when you could pre-order Wii's. Not Wii's. That'd be bizarre. That would have been a bit of a heads up. Switches. That would have been amazing.
Our new console, the Wii, and now you buy a Switch dock with it. But maybe that's what, when you brought a Wii, you got a plastic thing that the Wii sort of sits in.
Well, the thing the stand sits on. What do you mean the stand?
Yeah.
Because there's a little see-through plastic disc. You would put the grey.
Oh yeah.
Feet thing, and then you put the Wii.
Yeah.
And you could unattach the little SD card with it and lose it somewhere.
That little flap.
Every
time I saw a Wii, it had the flap missing.
Exactly.
Tore it off. I'm like, why? I don't. Weird.
Yeah. Docks will be available May 19th if you're out for one and you've got some money for a dock.
I still think the dock is the worst part of the Switch design. So
wait.
I just feel like it's the cheapest part of the design, I would say. It's clearly the bit they paid the least attention to. Here's the thing it docks into. That's it. That'll do. Just make a clip to the TV. I mean, the console itself is obviously the attention. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Next up, we got Splatoon 2. And so
it's smile on his face. He's like, "Yeah, Splatoon 2."
Yes. It's not entirely focused on like the new thing they announced, the new mode, Salmon Run.
Yeah, which is essentially Horde mode.
Yes.
For Splatoon.
Yeah, it works.
It looks cool.
It's new. It's new for Splatoon.
It is.
It's a new way to play. And it seems like it will have some sort of gameplay loop to the rest of the game. Like you get your salmon eggs and you get some prizes out of them they alluded to. They didn't tell us what they were though, so you'd imagine it's something new. Some new type of currency, or I don't know. Maybe hooked into the one-player mode, or
I was thinking maybe like a loot box kind of system, maybe. But I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah. The mode itself looks fun. It's cool to see some new characters as well. I mean, it's might seem a bit strange saying it like that, but I mean these aren't the Octarians. These are new salmon people. And like the Inklings themselves are kind of all like dressed up in this like dock gear, I guess you would call it. Yeah. Like a luminous. Kind of like a hazard. I don't know what you call that thing. I don't really know what that is. Yeah. So that's. I assume that's so like everyone's on the same playing field skill-wise in terms of equipment. So I assume your equipment buffs mean nothing in that round or in that mode.
Possibly.
I assume it's no coincidence that like this is the only mode where you don't get to see your cool outfits. Yeah. Possible. Yeah, right. I like cool. the recovery. How that worked? How you just kind of shoot your teammates if they go down.
Go down. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's fun. No, it's just that I don't know. I kind of feel like this is what they're re-hyping up, and it just kind of looks. It's okay, but it just seems like a bit repetitive.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's the whole point, really. It all depends on how it goes into how it blends into the other modes. So, like, does it actually anything cross over, or is it just a new way to play?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there'll be crossover. And the other thing is, like, I mean, this is the thing they focused on. But I think there's a few more secrets to come still. I mean, like, they alluded to the fact that, we'll have an update on the Octarians, or however they phrased it, like alluding to the single player mode, because that's what they were about in the original game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's another, like, mode like this sort of thing they've not spoken about yet. So I think altogether, this is coming out quite nicely as a new, as a proper sequel, opposed to just like a deluxe type package. But we also had some amiibos, of course. I think this was your correct prediction.
Yeah. Okay, you gotta go.
What was it? I can't remember.
My prediction was.
Actually, no. I think it was. I don't think it was correct. So I think your prediction was
arms
that the functionality would be the same.
Yes.
However, the amiibos look the same, but the functionality is different.
It is different. You're right.
At least what they've told us so far.
But if you want to talk about predictions very quickly, we both said arms would come up before E3. We were wrong. It's coming out after E3.
Oh, this is true. Not very much though.
Oh, it is literally like the day after.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's a weird date. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a new boy, new girl, and new squid amiibos.
They don't look that much different than the previous
ones. They do look cool, but yeah, they don't look different enough.
That's very sneaky. Like, new Fortuna amiibos. They're pretty much the same thing, but you know you'll buy them. It's not. But the functionality was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, so you basically get to store your outfits on them.
Yeah.
And so you can take them around your friend's house and you put your boy, girl, or squid amiibo on their Switch controller, and your costume appears.
I mean, it's more of a time saver function than anything else.
True.
So you don't have to fumble for your equipment. But yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, and they alluded to some feature where you could take pictures with your amiibo. But I'm not sure that's just you have another character to take pictures with, or it's the only way to take pictures of yourself, or I'm not sure. Something around that.
Yeah. It's very, I don't know. It's intriguing.
But yeah, we've almost come to the end of the direct news.
We have. There is one thing I've noticed we missed something. I forgot to put something on here, which is heresy for me.
What do we miss?
So, Capcom had got an announcement out. Monster Hunter Stories.
Yes.
Is getting a Western release, which is awesome.
News.
That is great news.
Yeah,
fantastic. It's not coming out till the fall/autumn, but it's coming, which I'm really happy about. I was expecting Generations 2 or Double Cross, or whatever you want to call it, but we're not getting that. It seems, at least.
Yeah, well, they not mentioned it, so
and it's coming. I mean, the 3DS's relevancy is it's kind of petering out, I would think.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
Especially with the rise of the Switch. So I'm kind of thinking, will we ever get on, to be honest?
I think we may miss
Generations.
This one and get the next one, which might still be another iteration of it.
Yeah, maybe. But also stories. They showed a trailer for it. They just got me excited. I was like, yes, I want to play this now. I have to wait like 4 months. Maybe 5. But yeah, awesome. Can't wait.
So I have to ask at this point, what was our one more 3DS surprise? What am I missing?
That was
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, we've covered everything then.
Yeah, that is the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, cool.
So, how would you rate the Direct? Out of let's say 10.
10. It's a tricky one because you've got like the context of knowing what you're expecting, or just like from Directs previous. But that's just a general feeling. I think out of 10, feels quite safe, so kind of like a 7.
Actually,
there was, like, in terms of what I was expecting, there was more there. It was fairly entertaining. It was at a good rhythm and pace. Stuff about ARMS I really liked. The stuff about Splatoon I really liked. So there's lots of good stuff there, but no like really big announcements.
Yeah.
So yeah, 7.
See, for me, I mean, I would have given it a 6 personally, overall. But with the inclusion of Mod Silencer, it comes to 8.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, that really does. That's the best surprise. I was like, yes, finally.
Does look good. It's a very good looking 3DS game.
There's, to be honest, because my expectations were super low. It's just I went into Direct thinking Splatoon 2, ARMS.
Yes.
And we got so much more back, out of it. Oh, okay, this is quite a lot of new stuff as well. Yeah, so overall, pretty happy with Direct, to be honest.
Awesome.
I'm gonna start setting my expectations like super low for every Direct now.
Yeah, that's the problem with this one. It kind of works the opposite way, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they kind of leaked beforehand. Well, not leaked, but they told us what to expect, and they blew us away. But yeah.
All right, Colin. Shall we move on to the bonus round?
We shall move on to the bonus round now. Cool. I'm going to take the reins for the bonus round. Oh. Well, you don't have a Harrison, so you don't have the capable hands. So, hands. So I'm just going to take over, I guess. I apologize, people. I'm not trained for this kind of thing, but here we go. So the bonus round this week is, what's the funniest Nintendo game? Which, it could be anything really. So we have, first up, Matthew Gibson at Ace Gibbo, who said Kid Icarus Uprising. He says it's wonderfully written, great references, superb voice acting that brings each character to life. And then there's Hades, one of the best villains of all time. That sass earns him a place up there.
Yeah, I have to agree with Matthew here. Oh, sounds like the opposite maybe for you?
Well, I didn't think Kid Icarus was that funny. I thought it was... Yeah,
Did you find it enjoyable? Did you like the game?
As a whole, no.
No.
Well, the thing that the controls, as people will say, kind of ruined the experience for me a little bit, but it just kind of felt, I don't know, kind of overwritten. There's a lot of talk in that game.
Yeah, I assume it's a very particular audience it's going after.
Yeah.
I think if it lands with you, it lands very well. I thought it was very funny.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. It didn't resonate with me that much, but it still. I still would like to see a sequel.
Yeah, but so I do like, because there aren't many of them, games which do break the fourth wall.
Oh, this game's all about breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, and this game does it in some funny ways. Like, I say funny, like it's, to me, the comedy in this isn't necessarily like the lines people are saying. It's like, I think the game's old enough now. When the original credit sequence comes up, and then it gets ripped apart by Hades. About like 20 names into it or something. Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, this isn't over yet." Yeah.
That was a funny moment.
It was cool. I think it's more the early stuff for me that kind of put me off it. Like the first boss you fight is like a giant dog, and then you make a 10 dogs like joke about it.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
That's that one. It's not necessarily the thing, but I think I kind of like the feel of that world. Because it's just bizarre. I like Nintendo being, I'm not sure that's about their own stuff, and that coming from a character in its own universe. Like at least, like, I wouldn't like it if everything was like that.
No.
But for that one thing to make comment about, Nintendo or whatever. It's like,
it was cool. I mean, again,
see what else this guy has to say.
Yeah, a sequel would have been cool. maybe in the future when Sakurai's not busy, not doing anything. We'll see. Anyway, next up, Anti Wickland at Akeland, who says Doshin the Giant for obvious reasons.
Oh,
I have played Doshin the Giant.
Yeah, what are the obvious reasons?
Honestly, I can't remember.
He's a big yellow.
He's a big yellow
giant with a big belly button.
Yeah. I remember the game being fun, but it wasn't very memorable to me. I remember playing it, but I don't remember much about it.
Yeah.
I
imagine there's some comedy. Can you like squish your little village people by walking over them?
Pretty sure
Can you cause havoc? There we go. Fun to be had for them.
Yeah. But I mean, the game. I know the character itself is pretty fun, just the way it looks. But yeah. Next up is CJ at CJKB, who says Wind Waker. It has all those great music cues. Link in that game is pretty funny. I would say just his expression wise, he is pretty funny.
He's a silent comedian.
Absolutely.
I think this is one of the different interpretations here, as in just a fun game. I think we from CJ here. The music cues. Yeah,
it has fun music. You can't deny that.
Yeah, no, it's true. Especially, I was just going across the Great Sea, and like that theme instantly, which has just gone in your head.
It puts a smile
on out. It does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Funny.
Next up, Bethany Rose at Lil Bethany says Rhythm Heaven.
Ooh, yeah. This is one which should be for obvious reasons.
I've never played a Rhythm Heaven game, so I can't judge.
Have you told Holly that? She would berate you more than I would.
I'm not
have you played the WarioWare series?
I played the Game Boy Advance one and the DS Touched. Do
you like them?
They're good. No, they're really good.
Yeah,
definitely.
Then you probably. I mean, it's a bit running fast and loose with it, but my idea is if you like WarioWare, you probably would like Rhythm Heaven, even though they're quite different games. I feel like
a very similar structure.
Kind of. I've got the same sort of like
crazy humor
mentality behind it. Yeah, same sort of humor as well. But there's just something about them. Yeah.
I'll have to pick one up. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's one on DS that'll go cheap. I'll just try it.
Yeah, there's one on the 3DS as well. There's the Mega Mix.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, good jumping in point collections.
Possibilities.
Ones. Yeah.
Cool.
Good version on the Wii as well.
All right. Yeah, I'll try it. Next up is Romulo Caesar at Maximum Caesar, who says Mario Kart because Mario Kart. Good reason. Definitely a good reason. Yeah.
I think we know what it means.
Mario Kart's fun.
It is fun. It can be funny as well.
It's
fun to play with friends.
Unlimited potential for fun.
And if you're like on the other end of the blue shell, like you're the one sending it and not receiving it for once,
that's not fun.
That could be quite funny.
Can it? I don't know.
Oh, if you're playing like with a friend and you manage to blue shell them, because you were in a particularly bad race, but at least they didn't win and they were frustrated because you blue shelled.
That is fun. No, revenge is fun, kids. That's what we're saying.
Basically.
Awesome. All right.
It's an Orange Squash episode. We're all good.
Yeah, that's right.
Family friendly.
Next up is Lewis Lloyd Johnson, who at Illustrations, frequent contributor. It's going to be WarioWare Twisted, the one I've played. Gee, that game never did get a European release. No, did it not?
No, not Twisted.
No, not Twisted. No, I was Touch, wasn't enough. Yeah.
Yeah, Touch with the DS. Twisted was on the Game Boy Advance, and it had its own motion sensor.
Oh, yes. No, you're right. Yeah, I do recall this.
Yeah, we didn't get it because of the basically the materials it was made of. It was made of like, can't recall it now, but precious. No, but it's sort of precious rocks. I don't know.
Precious rocks.
Precious rocks. That's the official term.
Maybe. I was thinking next Direct, they might just be like, "Hey, guess what? We're unveiling it. Here you go.
Yes, this would be the time. I did reach out to Lewis, and I did ask him if he had played it because he is also in Europe, like us. He's in the UK. He imported it, or he bought it when he was in the States.
Nice.
And yes,
was the GBA region free, or did you?
It was. Yes.
Oh, it was. Okay.
It wasn't until the DSi.
Oh, of course.
They introduced it again. Like the regular DS was region free as well.
It was, yeah. No, I've got an American Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. So, yeah, it seems like it's been forever, but it's only been the DSi and the 3DS, which has been region locked. Or portable side, at least.
I wonder why the DSi, because of like the downloadable stuff.
Possibly, yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, next up is Taylor Crowder at Tay Crowder, who says Super Paper Mario. Bowser's animations are literally the best thing ever. The Paper Mario games are fun. Given that they are very expressive, very I don't know, they're just jolly. That's what I was describing.
Yeah,
just jolly.
Yeah, this is a bizarre one to describe, really, because like the idea of Mario being a paper character sounds a bit boring, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like it feels like you're doing the opposite of what you would want. So, oh yeah, Mario's this fun guy, very expressive, or you know, it's fun to play as him. It's like, oh, yeah, let's take him and make him a paper cutout. Like, no, don't do that. But no, it's they do really well with them. Yeah, they're very expressive and very funny, and
they're always so well written. Well.
Yeah, I don't know how they get more humor out of Paper Mario than they do actual Mario. They get more to work with normally.
Standard Mario, I mean, to be fair, he's pretty bland.
That's my point, but you're getting the paper version of him, and he's so much better in this sense. It's like,
I guess they could do. I don't know. Yeah, it's bizarre. It's just that's the way things work. Yeah. So next up is Caponium at Caponium13, who says Paper Mario, another one. 1,000-Year Door. Who doesn't love the amazing Raw Hawk or Goombella's fantastic tattle quotes? Tattle quotes? What's the tattle quote?
I don't know. I was hoping you would know. Then I could just pretend I know as well.
Battle quote?
I
have no idea. Honestly, I've played 1,000-Year Door, but it's been so long.
Well, my excuse is I've never actually played 1,000-Year Door.
What? It's amazing.
Exactly. Well, nice. Yeah, I completed the original.
Somehow, honestly,
1,000-Year Door.
1,000-Year Door is just like the game that I crave. If the Switch does get GameCube support, that'd be the first game I hope comes out for it. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I'd never picked it up. I don't have like this memory of going like, oh, there's this like I heard some bad thing about it. Because I really liked the first game, and it might have been like, was there a massive time gap between the first and the second game? That's the only thing I think of. Like if it was like a short turnaround, maybe I was like, oh,
yeah, no, definitely there was a bit of a gap. I think possibly.
But yeah, I don't know. Don't know what I was doing at the time, but never got around to 1,000-Year Door.
I mean,
despite really liking the first.
I mean, the GameCube has so many great games. You probably got lost in something else.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Anyways, Lewis.
Yeah.
Louis. You got to pick a star answer.
I probably should have known you were going to pick me.
Well, I mean, there's not a member in the audience that I can pick.
Oh, that would be perfect. Anyway. Who shall we pick?
I don't know why you're asking me. I don't know.
Well, I do know. I'm going to pick. I'm not sure if we've picked him before. He's also a friend of the show, but that's not swayed my opinion here. Matthew Gibson.
Oh.
For his answer of Kid Icarus Uprising, because not necessarily why you would get picked. But not only because I agree with this person. One of the funnier games I've played. But he gives good. More importantly, he gives good reasoning.
He does very much.
Detail here on why he's picked Kid Icarus, with it, how it's written, the voice acting, the references, and bringing the characters to life, and mentioning like Hades. Hades on his own is such an awesome character.
That's the one thing you can say about Kid Icarus. That's all.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, Matthew Gibson, you do win those Twisted Fusion prizes. And I should probably give a refresher. Oh, I'm just realising now, though. The perils of doing an unedited show. I definitely got a bonus round question.
Oh, well, I did put a 10th one in.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't need to do that. Anyway. Excuse me. The bonus round prizes are prizes based off the Twisted Fusion game I made for the Wii U. It's currently available if you want to check it out. So it's the digital art book and the digital soundtrack. If you want to be in a chance to win those as well. The question we've got for you this week is, what was your favourite bit of news from the Nintendo Direct? And why? Always the whys with us. Let us know. You can send in your answers on email, hello@nintendovoice.com, or over on Twitter @NintendoVoice. And before we end the show, let's do our usual thing, which we didn't do last week because it was a bit of a weird one.
Yeah.
And we'll let people know where they can find us if they so choose to.
See, I'm on video now. It's just different. You can find me here. You can find me on Twitter @HighlyEmbarred, which is probably how you think it's spelled. And that's about it. I mean, Miiverse. I did go on Miiverse the other day for the first time in forever.
Did you post link?
I
can't remember because I was on Miiverse recently. I can't remember if I saw your name or not now.
I haven't posted anything for a long time. I did just like go through like my activity log on it kind of. Yeah, nothing really exciting happened. That's about it. I was like for like 5 seconds of that. So yeah, I mean, it's Cole 1990 if you want to try and find me on there. It's a bit redundant now, I think, but
fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for myself, Twitter or Miiverse or other things, Leuvsion, LEUVSION. And now we've got the great form of video. I should probably have it spelled out.
Hold for silence.
Press this button. That's how I do it. But I also just wanted to give a little message out here. Usually I just do, the close end of the show. So this was a bit of a weird episode, not in the way the last episode was a weird episode. So this
was experimental.
Yes, more an experimental show. So firstly, thank you for being part of the experiment. I mean, may sound a bit bizarre, but when you do new setups, no matter what you try, there's probably going to be some bits to work out. And so not knowing any trouble has happened, I firstly apologize for the troubles of the show, for the quality of the audio or the video or how anything's turned out. If it hasn't been as you would expect, sorry about that, but we're trying new things. We're going to make things better. Stick with us. And that's kind of the main theme, really. So we're going to try and do some more of this. We're going to try and do it better. And so let us know what you think, the good, the bad, and maybe give us some ideas.
Yeah.
Point us in the right direction. Let us know. But that is going to do it for today's show. So thanks once again for listening and potentially watching. Very odd. But this has been Nintendo Voice.
Yes. Goodbye, everyone.